Making cheese potato bread in a frying pan is a delightful culinary journey that transforms simple, everyday ingredients into a mouth-watering treat. Imagine the comforting aroma of bread sizzling in a pan, the golden crust forming as cheese melts inside, and the soft, pillowy texture of potato-infused dough. This recipe is perfect for those who crave fresh, homemade bread but don't have an oven, or for anyone looking for a quick, satisfying snack or side dish. Let's embark on this flavorful adventure, step by step, ensuring each detail is clear and every bite is bursting with deliciousness. To begin, gather your ingredients. You'll need a few large potatoes, some all-purpose flour, a bit of salt, a little sugar, a touch of baking powder, some milk, a knob of butter, and of course, your favorite cheese. Mozzarella works beautifully for that stretchy, melty interior, but feel free to experiment with cheddar, Gouda, or a blend for extra depth of flavor. Fresh herbs like chives, parsley, or thyme are optional but can add a pop of color and a burst of freshness. Start by preparing the potatoes. Peel them and cut them into chunks so they cook quickly and evenly. Place them in a pot of cold, salted water and bring to a gentle boil. Simmer until the potatoes are tender and easily pierced with a fork, usually about 15 to 20 minutes. Once cooked, drain the potatoes thoroughly and return them to the pot. Let them sit for a minute or two to steam off excess moisture, which will help your dough come together nicely without being too wet. Mash the potatoes until they're smooth and lump-free. You can use a potato masher, a fork, or even a ricer if you have one. Add a generous knob of butter to the hot potatoes and stir until melted, infusing the mash with richness and flavor. Next, pour in a splash of milk, just enough to create a creamy, supple mash that's not too loose. Season with a pinch of salt and, if you like, a dash of pepper or a sprinkle of your chosen herbs. Now it's time to transform the potatoes into a dough. Allow the mashed potatoes to cool slightly so they're comfortable to handle. In a large bowl, combine the potato mixture with all-purpose flour. Start with about 1 cup of flour for every 2 cups of mashed potatoes, but keep more on hand in case you need it. Add half a teaspoon of baking powder to give the bread a bit of lift, and a tablespoon of sugar for a subtle sweetness that balances the savory flavors. Mix everything with your hands or a spoon until a soft dough forms. If the dough is too sticky, add a little more flour. If it's too dry, a splash of milk will help. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead gently for a minute or two, just until smooth and cohesive. There's no need to overwork it. This is a rustic bread, and a tender crumb is what you're after. Divide the dough into equal portions, depending on how large you'd like your breads to be. For snack-sized rounds, aim for about 8 pieces. For larger, sandwich-sized breads, 4 will do. Flatten each portion into a disc about ½ an inch thick. Now for the star of the show, the cheese filling. Place a generous spoonful of grated or cubed cheese in the center of each disc. Carefully fold the edges over the cheese, pinching to seal and forming a ball. Gently flatten each ball, making sure the cheese is securely enclosed within the dough. If a little cheese peeks out, don't worry, it will crisp up beautifully as the bread cooks. Heat a non-stick frying pan over medium-low heat. Add a small pat of butter or a drizzle of oil to coat the bottom. When the butter foams or the oil shimmers, it's time to cook the bread. Place a few dough rounds in the pan, giving them space to expand. Cook for about 3 to 4 minutes on the first side until golden brown and crisp. Flip carefully and cook for another 3 to 4 minutes on the other side. You may need to adjust the heat to ensure the bread cooks through without burning. Patience is key here. As the bread cooks, the cheese inside melts into gooey perfection, while the outside develops a beautiful golden crust. The aroma is irresistible, buttery, toasty, and rich with the promise of melted cheese. When both sides are golden and the bread feels firm to the touch, remove from the pan and let cool slightly on a wire rack or a plate lined with paper towels. Continue with the remaining dough, adding more butter or oil to the pan as needed. The result is a stack of warm, golden cheese potato breads, each one crisp on the outside and soft within, with a molten core of cheese. When you tear one open, the steam escapes, carrying the scent of potato and cheese, and the cheese stretches in tempting strands. Serve these breads hot and fresh, perhaps with a sprinkling of fresh herbs or a dusting of flaky sea salt. These cheese potato breads are incredibly versatile. Enjoy them as a snack on their own, paired with a bowl of soup, or served alongside a fresh salad. They make a wonderful accompaniment to breakfast eggs or as a base for mini sandwiches. For a touch of extra flavor, try adding finely chopped cooked bacon, caramelized onions, or roasted garlic to the potato dough. A pinch of chili flakes or a dash of smoked paprika can infuse the breads with a subtle heat and smoky depth. If you're making these for a gathering, consider offering a variety of cheeses and fillings. Some guests might love the classic mozzarella, while others may prefer the sharpness of aged cheddar or the earthiness of blue cheese. You could even tuck in a few sun-dried tomatoes, sautéed mushrooms, or olives for a Mediterranean twist. Leftover cheese potato breads are easily reheated in a dry pan or a toaster oven. They also freeze well. Just cool completely, wrap tightly, and store in the freezer for up to a month to reheat. Thaw at room temperature and warm in the pan until crisp and heated through. This recipe is more than just a way to satisfy your craving for bread and cheese. It's a celebration of resourcefulness and comfort. With no need for an oven or fancy equipment, you can create something truly special with just a frying pan and a few humble ingredients. It's a testament to the magic that happens when you combine simple elements and a bit of patience. As you savor each bite, notice the contrast between the crisp, golden exterior and the soft, creamy potato interior. Relish the way the cheese oozes from the center, mingling with the subtle flavors of the dough. Whether enjoyed alone or shared with loved ones, this cheese potato bread is sure to bring a smile to your face and warmth to your table. So the next time you find yourself with a few potatoes, a bit of cheese, and a craving for something homemade, remember this easy, satisfying recipe. With just a frying pan and a little time, you can create cheese potato bread that's golden, gooey, and utterly delicious. No oven required.